Sweetheart Majorettes. I'm Nicole Bianco. I'm the registered dietitian. I recently was working in athletics at UK. I also twirled at Purdue about 5 years ago, which is wild, but not that long ago. And I talked to Medina. She wanted me to come see you guys this week, but unfortunately, I got a job in Utah, so I had to move across the country, which I know is crazy. And some of you are probably like, "What? I thought you were just here." But yeah, so I'm in Utah, but I'm really excited to be able to put this presentation together for you guys, just to help you and be there for you and cheer you on. Twirling's near and dear to my heart, and I love to support you girls. You guys are great, so talented. And so, what I wanted to add though was at the end, well, I guess, either way, at the end or whenever, I do have some slides that I'll send to Medina, so she'll send those out to you guys to have as notes if you want to write things on it or anything like that, but you can keep it for your reference. I also want to encourage you to reach out to me either on Instagram or through email if you have any questions about anything I talked about, or if you might be interested in coaching, but that's fine if you're not. You can also join my mailing list where I send like one email a week and it just has some tips and stuff like that, which could be useful for everyone. So yeah, so I will get your emails from Medina and add you to that. And I hope you enjoy the presentation. So here we have is a UK Sweetheart Majorettes Fueling Guide. So to start things off, I want to talk about dehydration. Very important, especially for this time of year and into the fall season when you girls are outside in the heat in the middle of the afternoon and when you're there on game days. So there are 3 steps that you can take to prevent dehydration. One is make sure you're hydrating ahead of time. So as soon as you get up in the morning, have a glass of water, be drinking at least 16 to 24 ounces 2 to 3 hours before you head to practice. So that would be 2 or 3 cups. And then 15 minutes before, try to take in another big swig, 8 ounces, about a cup of water or Gatorade. And then during practice, every 15 minutes, you could be having about 6 ounces of water or Gatorade, which is the same as 2 swigs, 2 big gulps. So then after practice, as soon as you're done or you go to dinner, make sure you get a couple glasses of water and drink those. You're going to feel so much better. Stretching is going to feel better. You're going to feel more flexible, and all around making sure that you're hydrating ahead of time, during, and after practice and game day, you're going to feel so much better. So here are some tips on how to tell when you are hydrated. So have you ever looked at your pee in the toilet when you're done? It might sound funny, but it's actually a really good habit to do, especially when you're outside in the heat a lot. And so if your water, if your pee is too dark, like down here and looks kind of like apple juice, then you need more water. And if it's too light, like it's really clear and you've been outside a lot, you probably need more electrolytes like salt. So Propel and Gatorade are going to be great, like electrolyte restorers. You could also have pretzels or saltines or some of the snacks I mentioned here in a little bit that are salty, and they're going to give you back some of those electrolytes. Ultimately, though, you want to be able to look at your urine and see that it's about the color of lemonade. That's like the perfect color. So if it's too clear, you probably need electrolytes. If it's apple juice or cider, you need more water. And if it's lemonade, you're golden. Now sleep. So I know that in college, it's really hard to get a lot of sleep. Everybody struggles with it. But I just want to really encourage you girls, make sure that you're getting about 9 to 10 hours of sleep every night. And you have my permission to sleep in until noon every now and then, because research actually shows that for your age group, it's better for your growth and development. Now, I'm not saying you should do that every day because you have responsibilities, but on the weekends, when you don't have game day or on a Sunday, if you're a churchgoer, maybe go to evening church and just sleep in a little bit. No problem with that. It actually could be better for your performance and your health later in life. The other thing that sleep's going to do, it's going to help you recover better and faster. Man, you guys do so much. I remember when I twirled, I'd be so sore, so tired, and stretching, as you get into the seasons, it seems like stretching can be a little harder. You have to spend a little more time doing that. If you're getting enough sleep, this is only going to help. Some things that you can do at night before going to sleep is get blue light sunglasses, or not sunglasses, but get some blue light glasses because they actually work, at least in my opinion, they do. Limit screen time altogether until at the most an hour before bedtime. So, 30 minutes before is a little close, but give yourself about an hour to wind down. And if you must be on your phone or computer before bed for whatever reason, try to get blue light glasses. They have them on Amazon for pretty cheap. And then some other things you can do are wind down with some diaphragmatic breathing, which is when you simply lay down and take a deep breath in so you can feel your air like filling your lower stomach. And then feeling your stomach go down as you're laying in bed, it can just help with the relaxation. You could do some yoga, maybe some light recreational reading. Don't study, don't read nonfiction or the news before bed, or even take a hot shower or bath. That'll help you wind down. Now I want to talk about some of the short and long-term effects of alcohol. So I feel like it's really important to have this conversation with any college athlete because in college, you're just going to come into so many, whether you drink or not, it's just always good to know because you just never know. There are so many opportunities. But so some of the short-term effects, which can actually affect you up to 72 hours, that's 3 days. So if you go out on a Friday, you're still going to feel the effects of alcohol up until Monday, which is kind of crazy. I did not know that in college, but looking back, you can say that probably makes sense. So a couple things. It's gonna make you dehydrated. For every alcoholic beverage, you need twice as much as water, just as a rule of thumb. So if you're going out, try to have a cup of water in between drinks. It's going to decrease motor skills, which you'll have slower reaction time. So maybe more dropped batons, maybe it hitting your head, maybe not being as focused. And when you have to do a toss to your teammate, it goes way out or you drop it. So you may have experienced that. I hope not, but alcohol can decrease your motor skills. You're also going to have a faster onset of fatigue. Now, I remember me and my friends experiencing this in marching band and twirling. Man, if you went out on a Friday, those Saturdays were awful. Faster onset of fatigue. We couldn't wait for the day to be over if we were up late partying. And so I've lived it, I know. So if you can try to control your intake, especially right before game day, you'll feel so much better and you're going to have a healthier body as a result. It's also going to disrupt your sleep. So during your sleep, sleep's important because you're actually building muscle and recovering during that process. And when you have alcohol, it actually takes a lot longer for you to fall asleep and you don't get into as deep of sleep. So it's going to disrupt that and kind of upend that recovery process altogether. Now, some of the long-term effects, not only just in the first couple years of college and beyond, but also beyond, it could result in weight gain. Alcohol is 7 calories per gram, and your body stores it as fat and does not use it for energy. So just for comparison, a fat has the most calories per gram, right? Well, if you see alcohol has 7, it's important to know that fat has 9. So they're actually really close in their calories per gram, but fat's actually providing you nutrients, whereas alcohol is only calories. So you just do the math and think about how many calories you probably add up in a night of drinking. The other thing is it's going to depress immune function and also delay healing, which makes it hard. You can't train or play if you're sick. And this is some interesting statistics. The injury rate for athletes that drink is actually almost twice as high as the injury rate for non-drinkers. So if that doesn't stand out to you, I don't know what else to tell you, but I'm sure, that's really, the numbers don't lie. So that would encourage me if I were you to cut back on my consumption. Additionally, it's going to prevent muscle gains. Now, I know this isn't super, super important for you guys. You're not doing a lot of heavy lifting, but it is important to know, like, if you do want to build muscle or you do go into weight training, It actually decreases the hormones that are necessary for building muscle, which is testosterone and growth hormone. Women have a little bit of testosterone, but not as much as men, and it's totally normal. And then, long term, it's not always the case, but it is always, worth mentioning that it can lead to alcohol abuse and alcoholism further down the road if you're not being careful. So now that we talked about alcohol and sleep and some of the other things that are going to impact your your overall performance, let's get to the food. So here are some great pre-training snacks, whether you have an hour before or 30 minutes before. I highly encourage you to try to have something if you haven't had a meal within the last hour or two. So 60 minutes before, you'll notice those snacks have a little bit more of all three nutrients: fat, protein, carbs. You've got peanut butter sandwich, trail mix, and like a ham and cheese wrap, and also some Greek yogurt. But the closer you get to practice, the more high carb you want your snacks to be so that they digest really quickly. So toast with jelly, Gatorade chews or fruit snacks, like a honey stinger waffle if you like those, fruit, pretzels, crackers, things like that. These aren't the only things you can eat, but basically if you only have 30 minutes, you want to have something high carb that's going to digest quickly. And if you have an hour, you could have more of a smaller meal. And during training and game days, it's going to be really important for you to fuel, especially when your practices are longer than an hour. It doesn't mean you have to eat a whole meal, but these are definitely some things you can keep in your bags or take with you that aren't going to melt too much. The chocolate might melt, but I'll leave that up to you. So these are things you're going to want to snack on throughout, and it's just going to give you that extra energy. When you go into practice or a game day without enough fuel, you're actually at more risk for injury. And we definitely don't want to see that. You guys want to be able to, I know you have fun with what you do, and some of you even compete, and so you want to make sure that you're staying healthy and strong and able to do everything you need to do to perform at a high level as a twirler. Then after your training, it's going to be really important for you to emphasize proteins and carbs. So I have some pictures here: tofu, beans, grilled chicken, grilled salmon, another wrap, some smoothies or high protein milks. Make sure that you go and have a meal, and if you're not going to be able to eat, like maybe you have class, try to get something in so that you can recover your muscles, and you're going to feel so much better, less sore, and have less risk for injury, and you're going to be able to replenish and get stronger. And now here is how you should feel as a majorette. So on the left, you'll see a plate that has 3 sections, and it's divided basically into fruits and vegetables, which should take up half your plate, whole grain carbs, which should take up a quarter of your plate, and then lean protein, which will also take a quarter of your plate. On the right are some other tips that you can do, or some other tips for fueling as a majorette. So you should eat 3 to 4 meals a day, depending on needs. Some people are fine with 3, some people are hungry and need 4, and that's fine if that works for you. Drink water or plain milk with your meals, and every now and then feel free to enjoy your favorite soda, chocolate milk, or 100% fruit juice, but you're going to want to have lighter, lower calorie drinks at your meals just so you fill up on your food and not your drink. You want to snack on fruits and veggies paired with healthy fats like guacamole and tortilla chips, or carrots and hummus, or even beef jerky and some whole grain crackers. Honor your hunger and satiety signals. So when you're hungry, eat, and don't shame yourself. If you get home and you want to cook dinner and you feel hungry and you still have to like make it, you still have like an hour or 2 hours to cook, but you're hungry, have a snack. It's going to be fine. You're going to feel better if you just let yourself have a snack. And when you get to dinner, you'll be in much more control of your portions and what you eat. And then when you're full, try to stop. I know that it can be hard when we get into habits in certain settings, like when we're with our friends or our family, we can tend to eat more or less. And these are things that you could pay attention to. And if you need help with that, just reach out to me and let me know. You should strive to get 25 to 30 grams of fiber daily. And I would encourage you to take a probiotic or be sure to eat yogurt or drink kombucha on a regular basis. Both those things are going to help you have a healthier gut, which is going to help with absorption of nutrients and keep you regular. And you're just going to feel better overall by making sure you clean out your intestines on a regular basis. So something that I'm going to give to you girls, which I'm not going to go over in depth, is I have a little grocery list that kind of gives you an idea of good food options to have. By no means do you need to get all these things all the time, but if you're like, I wonder what drink she recommends, or produce, or protein, these are all things that you can look at. You'll notice under protein that I have bone-in meats, and that's because of the collagen. So collagen is a really important nutrient for your joints, your tendons and ligaments. And as twirlers, you guys are doing that. You guys have to be really flexible, and it is really hard on your joints, on your tendons and ligaments. So by having more bone-in meats, you're going to get more of that naturally in your diet. There's also a supplement called Vital Proteins, and you can even eat tallow and you'll get the same benefits. And then here are some sample meals which you'll get basically using the grocery list before. And then I have a little spot where you can write some things yourself if you wanted to print this off and put it on your fridge. And then a final word just on intuitive eating and sort of self-love and self-care. I know I was a twirler, I was a gymnast. I know that, there's a lot of comparison. There's a lot of looking, you have to look really pretty, you do your makeup, your hair, you're wearing a leotard, and it's a very aesthetic sport. But I just want to encourage you to enjoy your food. And if you're hungry, by all means, consider eating more of it. Just consider it and trust that it's going to improve your performance. I know it can be hard when you're coming from a time of restriction to allow yourself to do that, but you will feel so much better in the end if you tend to restrict a lot. Now, I don't know anyone's story on this team. I'm just saying from my experience that, enjoy your food. It's meant to be enjoyed. It's going to nourish you. You guys are so active, have some food and enjoy it. And then finally, you don't have to have a certain body type to be a winning or a beautiful athlete. Consider appreciating your body for what it can do. You guys are so talented, and don't let anyone tell you different, not even yourself. And when you hear each other putting yourselves down, you need to lift each other up and tell each other to knock it off. So appreciate your body for what it can do. Trust it when it's hungry or thirsty. It knows what you need. And so with that, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram or by mail if you have any questions. I do also do online coaching now. And if you feel like you want to join, or you just want help, or you have some questions, feel free to reach out. I'm here for you.